All right. Testing, testing. Cool. This one is good. 720p, 60. All right. Let's go to Twitch. Make sure we are all good to go. Twitch. Fantastic. Testing. And we are good to go. Twitch response is a lot higher or a lot quicker than the YouTube. YouTube takes a second for me to even see the response or the chat. But anyways, so if you guys haven't seen yesterday's live, Fit Check Vertical Streaming Edition, no. So if you guys haven't seen the live stream yesterday, what we were working on was a Python. Oh, let me double check the. Yeah, we're good. I mean, sorry guys. So, yesterday, what we were working on was a resource assistant in Python code. We are actively trying to learn Python. We have some background knowledge on Python. Python for about a month or so. And we're also trying to learn the other libraries that are available to us, like pandas and numpy and stuff like that. But during the streaming session, we're going to be trying to work on that resource assistant. It's going to be primarily for two counties, two individual counties, to assess an individual's needs and then provide input, so resources, based off of the input that they had provided. And once we get a general layout of the code, and we'll work on, data structures with pandas, and we work on learning a couple of things, then we can then start working on creating different classes and lists for certain things, and try to run the code as cohesively as possible. It's gonna be pretty rough in the beginning, but that is just fine. Right now, this is what we have. So I need to kind of go back. So this was inputted from ChatGPT right here, because I did not know how to calculate ages. I'm also going to be taking input as well too, because I really don't know Python very well. So if you guys have any input on how to structure this code, you guys are more than welcome to help me out with that. I am willing to take the criticism. I'm also willing to take the information that you guys do provide me to better this, because again too, I'm going to be attempting to provide this to the healthcare authority through this county. I do not have a background in coding. It's purely just an idea that I would like to work on and present, and then hopefully they utilize it, or then in turn use their people that they have to code up certain applications or websites or whatnot to utilize this as a good tool. Anyways, we're gonna pop on some good music and kind of vibe out. And if you guys have any questions in the chat, you guys are always more than welcome to ask me. I will try to answer my questions as best as possible. Or if you guys have any questions about the idea for the resource assistant, you guys are more than welcome to ask about that as well, and I'll definitely fill you in. But as it goes, we're gonna pop on some, or actually, we do need to learn pandas just a little bit more. As for right now, it looks like we have view my channel. Let's see, our live yesterday got, we're gonna delete that. We have 10 views in 22 hours, which is amazing. I appreciate everybody watching that. So it also seems like if you guys are watching me on YouTube, make sure to follow me on Twitch. If you guys are watching on Twitch, make sure to follow me on YouTube. We currently have 65 subscribers. I'm definitely looking to try to begin coding and possibly turn it into a career path. I mean, why not? But anyways, how does the stream look? It looks like the stream on my second monitor, it looks like it got dim. Let me double check. Looks like it did a tad bit. I think I'm gonna try to brighten that. Let's try to add a filter onto that. Edit filters, grayscale. Image masking, crop, scaling, color key, color correction, add, turn the contrast up, and then let's increase that. Looks like the brightness was a little bit too low for my liking. That looks a little bit too washed out. Let's do saturation, enhance that color. Let me enhance it more. 91 is probably gonna be too crazy. No, it looks great. Okay. All right. Sweet. So, all right, let's get into this. We do need to, like I said, learn pandas more. So we're gonna go to pandas Python beginner lessons and try to apply some of the things that we do know with some of the things that we don't. And I think what I'm gonna do for right now is I'm gonna file. I'm gonna do. Let's do this. Okay, so this is untitled outline, explorer timeline. Let's try to file, open folder, coding, helpful info. Nope. Resource assistant. Nope. Stop. Let's see. How does the color correction look? I feel like that looks really vibrant, and I actually really dig it. See how we're looking on that. Seems to be pretty good. We're gonna increase the sizing for that for you guys, because my monitor is quite big. So I'll try to do what I can with that. Let's open this. Let's open up pandas tutorials. Let's see, actually. Oh, I like that guy. Live playlist watch. Let's filter out to this year, and then let's also filter out to view count. So it looks like these are pretty good. These have millions of views. Holy shit. Okay. Introducing Python in Excel. I did see that release from 11 months ago. ML, Ultimate Python Programming Roadmap. I am eating too, so excuse me, but I gotta eat. This dude read over 100 books on Python. Fuck off. Holy shit. Python. The only reason too, so some of you are probably questioning why. Actually, I don't think a large portion of you will actually question why I decided to do Python, given that it's probably one of the easiest languages to learn. But just if you want to know, that's exactly why I chose it. We're going to be taking some breaks here and there too. I don't want to burn myself out. So, data cleaning A to Z. PubSec Python certifications. Okay, pandas.
Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome back to another video. Super excited for this one, and we're going to be doing another complete Python pandas tutorial walkthrough. So
Holy
first off,
fuck,
super
the color's all
grateful for all
blown
the
out.
support on the previous iteration of this video, but it's been like 5 years, and I've learned a lot more about pandas. There's been a lot of updates to the pandas library, and there's just a lot more modern tools that we can incorporate into a tutorial like this. So figured it was a great time to do another walkthrough. This video will be great for someone that's just getting started with Python pandas. You'll learn all of the basics that you need to know working with and analyzing, manipulating spreadsheet tabular data with Python pandas. But this video will also be great for more experienced users that have maybe used pandas a bunch in the real world, but really want to up-level that skill set and apply new types of things to your day-to-day. I know personally that I'm learning new things about pandas almost every day. It is really a goal of mine to communicate some.
This guy seems really cool.
Hopefully everyone can walk away from this video with some concrete action items that you can apply to your own data sets. Enough of me talking though, let's get right into the tutorial. There's many different ways you can get started with pandas. Probably the easiest is by going to collab.research.google.com, and you can edit code and use pandas right there.
Okay, that's what I already have. Hold on. I literally already have that. I have a test bench one too. So this was because I asked ChatGPT to make me a code for predicting the lottery. I don't know how legal that is, but whatever.
But if you prefer to work locally, maybe you like using Visual Studio Code or PyCharm or JupyterLab, then you can go to the repo that is corresponding to this video. You can copy this link. You can open up a terminal window and clone the repo. So I'm going to go into my code folder. I'm going to clone the link that I just copied. And now we have, once it loads, there's a bunch of data files here, so it might take a second. Then I can go into that folder, and we can look at the files there. And then a good next step is to, this is just good Python practice, is to create a virtual environment.
Yeah, I have no idea how to do that.
And activate that virtual environment. I'll make sure to put the corresponding Windows command up. Source ems tutorial is where I just created the virtual environment, bin/activate, and now we can see we have it.
Okay, if this dude is trying to teach me something right now, I am not following. I hope this is just the initial setup
activated, and
that he's trying to do for his own workstation.
And I want to install all the necessary libraries for this tutorial, which can be done with pip3 install requirements.txt. Again though, don't worry if you don't follow these exact steps. This is just kind of the best practice for most Python projects, but you can kind of install packages as you go. You don't necessarily need to have a virtual environment set up. Like if you're using Jupyter, if you're using the collab.research.google, totally fine.
Cool.
Okay, perfect. Now, next step, I use Visual Studio Code personally, usually. So I'm gonna open up the folder that we just created, and I'm going to go ahead and create a
what the fuck?
IPython notebook. So I'll call this tutorial.ipython notebook, and in here I can start running Python commands. I do want to set my Python interpreter to what we just set up for that virtual environment. So I'm going to do Command-Shift-P on my Mac. I think it'll be Control-Shift-P if you're on Windows. Select interpreter, and we see we have this new virtual environment tutorial. select that, and we can go ahead and do print hello world.
You lost me, buddy.
And then we can go ahead and import pandas as PD, and that will accomplish the first step.
All right, we did that.
Perfect.
We did
We
that.
now have pandas installed.
We did about half the work, but whatever.
But research.google, just run import pandas as PD, already exists. All right, given you've imported pandas correctly, let's start learning about data frames.
Okay.
And a data frame is really the main data structure of the Python pandas library. And you can basically think of data frames as tables with all sorts of extra functionality sprinkled on. So it allows us to work with spreadsheets and other types of tables very easily with as tables with all sorts of. All right, given you've imported pandas correctly, let's start learning about data frames. And a data frame is really the main data structure of the Python pandas library. And you can basically think of data frames as tables with all sorts of extra functionality sprinkled on. So it allows us to work with spreadsheets and other types of tables very easily within Python.
That's cool.
Okay, so what does a data frame look like? Well, we can create our own data frame very easily by doing something like df equals pd.dataframe. I'm going to just sprinkle in some dummy data, 1, 2, 3.
df equals
2D array, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yo.
Run that. Well, we can start looking at things within this data frame and start seeing the components that make it a data frame. So we can do dataframe.head to see the first 5 rows. In this case, it's just 3 rows. And there's a couple different things that we see there. I'm going to also add real quick.
Did he put? What did he put?
Well, we can start looking at things within this data frame and start seeing the components that make it a data frame. So we can do dataframe.head to see the first 5 rows. In this case, it's just 3 rows. And there's a couple different things that we see there. I'm going to also add real quick columns equals A, B, and C.
Let's delete that.
All right, there's already a few things that we can look at. First off, we have the header here. So we specified with that with columns, but oftentimes in our files that we load in, this will be kind of populated by default. And we see that we can view the data with df.head. I could look at just the first row by doing dfhead1. I could look at the first 2 rows by doing dfhead2. I could look at the bottom 2 rows by doing dftail2. But there's some useful functions that we should. First off, if I just wanted to see what the headers are, I can do df.columns.
Wait, why?
If I wanted to see, if we look at the data frame again, these values right here, this is known as the index, and I can access those by doing df.index. And
Hit close parentheses, no?
Really
I see.
Index can be helpful. We can also specify this as a non-numeric. It's going to automatically populate.
Interesting.
By default, and we see that we can view the data with df.head. I could look at just the first row by doing dfhead1. I could look at the first 2 rows by doing dfhead2. I could look at the bottom 2 rows by doing dftail2. But there's some useful functions that we should know. First off, if I just wanted to see what the headers are, I can do df.columns. If I wanted to see, if we look at the data frame again, these values right here, this is known as the index, and I can access those by doing df.index.
Wait a minute, what the fuck? Convert this data frame into an interactive table. Suggest charts. Whoa. Wait, is collab? No.
View the data with
df.head. Just the head? No.
df.head. I could look at just the first row by doing dfhead1. I could look at the first 2 rows by doing dfhead2. I could look at the bottom 2 rows by doing dftail2. But there's some useful functions that we should know. First off, if I just wanted to see what the headers are, I can do df.columns. If I wanted to see, if we look at the data frame again, These values right here, this is known as the index, and I can access those by doing df.index. And I guess you could also do toList to really see it. Index can be helpful. We can also specify this as a non-numeric. It's going to
So the range, stop, start, step.
automatically populate as 0, 1, 2, etc. by default, but we could also specify our index. We're doing something like X, Y, Z. And now if we look at our data frame, get this, and if I did df.index, we get X, Y, Z. Other useful things to know about data frame right out of the box is we can do df.info to see information about our data frame. We see right now that we have 3 different columns. They're all int64 types. That means they use 64.
Interesting. Wait, so hold on. I gotta fix my mic. Ugh. I feel like my mic is kind of butchered right now. Might just be me. No, it's not. It's whatever. I don't give a shit. Okay? Let's see.
Byte is 8 bits of information, so we're using a little bit more than we should, probably right here. If you want to be more efficient, this is one thing that you'd play around with, is like these data types. It's going to be using NumPy under the hood by default, but later on in this video, we'll see how we can change kind of the engine under the hood to make things more efficient. We see the size here, 96 bytes.